Inches of rain fell Tuesday in just a matter of hours. President Obama is getting it from all sides today. Republicans ripped him for pushing a cap-and-trade plan, which is, of course, a plan to charge companies for pollution. Republicans called that an energy tax, but some climate activists were dismayed because actually he didn't mention cap-and-trade at all in that speech.
So joining us now, Senator Lamar Alexander, chairman of the Senate Republican Conference. And Senator, I have to ask you, plain and simple, I read your pre-buttal statement yesterday. It looked as if the president did take your advice. He did not make a push for pricing carbon pollutants, cap and trade, whatever you want to refer to it as, in his speech last night. Did that make you happy?
No, he took part of my advice. Actually, he did. He referred to the climate bill. It was hard. He didn't refer to much, to tell you the truth, Chuck. What I had hoped he would do is to say he wanted a mini Manhattan project for clean energy and focus on the things we agree on: electric cars, nuclear plants, and energy research and development. He could have done that.
How is what he said inconsistent with that?
Well, he didn't say that. I mean, presidents only have this opportunity every several years. I mean, President Reagan did it on the Challenger, President Bush at 9/11. This was a chance for the president to say, this is the way we're going to go. He didn't mention electric cars and trucks. He didn't mention nuclear plants. And he didn't mention energy research and development, all of which he's for, all of which we're for on the Republican side. We could get that done pretty fast.
But it did seem as if in the speech that he was trying to leave a lot of room for negotiation, that he took out any language that might have set some folks off. I mean, there was some particularly harsh language that came from people that apparently wrote the press release before he mentioned the speech. You were not one of those folks. But it did seem he left some negotiating room. Was that at least helpful, do you think, to the cause of getting an energy bill out of the Senate this year?
Well, maybe so, but he's not a legislator. He's the president. He needs to say, I'm the agenda setter. Here's the way we ought to go, and then we can react to that. He mentioned the climate bill. That would have to be the one passed by the House. That's cap and trade. He mentioned windmills and solar panels twice. I mean, that has nothing to do with reducing our dependence on foreign oil. If we want to reduce our dependence on foreign oil, let's electrify half our cars and trucks in the next 20 years. Presidential leadership can help us do it. He's for that. So why didn't he say that?
Senator Alexander, I have to ask you, because it sounds like you also view this Gulf Coast crisis as an opportunity to do something on energy. Michael Steele, the chairman of your party, said manipulating this tragic national crisis for selfish political gain not only demonstrates President Obama's inability to aptly lead our nation out of a disaster, but also reveals the appallingly arrogant political calculus of this White House. Do you think the president is being selfish?
No, I'm not going to call the president names. I think first, clean it up. Second, help those who are hurt. And third, talk about a clean energy future.
Well, do you agree with the sentiment reflected here? Maybe you wouldn't choose those words, but I mean, it sounds like the Republican Party thinks the president is exploiting the crisis. Do you agree with that assessment?
If the president and the Democrats in Congress say we want to use the crisis to pass a national energy tax, that's misusing the crisis. If they say we want to use the crisis to find a way to reduce our dependence on foreign oil by electrifying half our cars and trucks, that's good policy. And it's not manipulating anything because the president is for it and all 41 Senate Republicans are for it. So why don't we do it?
Let me ask you about BP. We know the execs are meeting with the White House